So, let's start off now.
Okay.
So, hello, my name is Nathaniel Nogales. I'm gonna be your counselor for today.
Yeah.
Let me just start off by saying this is gonna be like confidential between me and you. But before we get started, before I get into that, let me roll. What's if you don't mind me asking, what's your name?
Frederick Nicotera.
Frederick. Okay. What's your date of birth?
0/24/1996.
Okay. And your address.
1030 Cherry Blossom Lane.
Okay. So the reason why I asked that is because sometimes people are not who they say they are, and I just want to make sure
Right.
you're you. You know. So now, as I was saying before, this is completely confidential between me and you. Like, unless something occurs where you're gonna hurt yourself, or if you state that you want to hurt someone else, or if who knows, something happens. Let's say you abuse, you state that you're gonna hurt child or something, or something else. I'm a mandated reporter, so I have to report that. But unless something comes up, which I don't believe anything would probably cut up. That's not needed. It's not gonna be needed.
Right.
The other thing is, since we're in Zoom right now, there may be interruptions. There may be cut off. My voice might cut off. Your voice might cut off. And if we disconnect for any reason, just you've got 15 minutes. I'll wait here for 15 minutes till you come back, so
Right.
you can rejoin and then be able to reconnect. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I may be looking to the side every once in a while, but that's mainly because this is where I've got my little intake form, which I need to ask you a few questions just to get an idea of what's going on. Okay?
No worries.
Okay, cool. So what is your living situation currently?
Currently I live with both my parents and my brother at home.
Okay. You live with your parents and your brother. So what is your education status?
Currently trying to get a master's in a master's program.
Okay, cool. Your ethnicity?
Hispanic.
Hispanic, and your. Did I already ask you your employment status?
No, you do not.
Okay. What's your employment status?
Currently working at a warehouse as a manager.
Oh, cool. Okay. Thank you. So now, what brings you here today?
What brings me here today is I have, I think, basically been experiencing anxiety towards failing my class or failing some assignments in my classes, and now I'm in a not desirable spot, and I'm probably at risk at failing the class altogether.
Okay. So you're in an undesirable spot for your class. So you're right now because your class. So is it the classes are getting harder, or is it just more work?
I think it has to more come of maybe not understanding per se a little bit. Because it's I read it, I try to go through the rubrics and stuff like that, but then it's I'm still missing points. But I don't know how I'm missing those points. I'm not sure if it is because it's too harder or if it's just because of a lack of concentration or understanding
Okay.
of what is being asked of me.
Okay. So, how long has this been going on?
Maybe since the start of the call, not the start, maybe towards the middle of the class, middle of the semester. Since did start off pretty good.
So, What happened at the middle of the class for it to start? Is it like that's when like one of the first tests that you've started getting a little lower grades on?
Yeah.
Okay. So how often have you been feeling this? Is it like all the time, or is it like just sometimes? Like how often are you
Mm,
feeling this stress that you, or like this anxiety?
Probably every single time I have to start doing my assignments or like I log into it because then I see my grade.
Oh, so it's not all. It's not like a constant thing. It's only the moment you start focusing on the schoolwork.
I say that's probably when it hits the most, but like there are instances where like I'll wake up in the middle of the night because of it.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so does it affect your daily life? Like, is how's your sleep? How's your
I'm struggling with that. Kind of wake up in the middle of the night, usually panicking, thinking I've already dropped out of the program or like I'm gonna fail or a lot of negative emotions.
okay? Thank thank you for sharing that. That's that must be rough. I even but so have you experienced anything like this before? Is like this amount of
No, no, I'm not.
this is the first time? Okay, so this is the first
Yes,
experience. Have you been to therapy or taken any medication for anything?
no, not at all.
Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of sidetrack this a little bit. I want to understand more about like your experiences and your perspective on like things. So, um, how would you describe what you're going through, like in terms of culturally? Like, it does your culture or your background feel like that's anything has anything to do with this, or do you think it's unrelated?
I mean, my parents always strive for me to have good grades and stuff like that. They've always pushed me, always wanted good grades out of me and stuff like that. And so maybe that kind of like correlates or like fits into the fact that like I have to get good grades and stuff like that. I have to pass and everything.
So you feel like you have to do good for your parents, your family.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So is there anything from your culture that you take strength from that will like allow you to that allows you to cope with this thing? Like anything that lifts you up from this like the heavy weight that you're feeling?
My cultural, probably not very much. It's like, very family orientated and stuff like that. And this isn't something I kind of want to tell them.
Okay. That makes sense. That's understandable. Is there anything else about your background that I should understand that might give me further insight in this?
I like martial arts. That's a good coping for me.
Okay, so
Kind of like blank out and just practice basically.
give you something to do to keep the mind off it. Okay,
Yeah.
so yes, so who do you, in terms of like support systems, who do you feel like supports you the most in terms of your social circle?
I would say obviously my parents.
Your parents? Okay.
hmm
Is there anyone in particular, or just like both of them support you about the same? Or is it just
I would say maybe my dad a little bit more. I get a little better with him, a little more of a father-son relationship there.
okay? So you have a good relationship with your father. That's good. Maybe. So your academic thing. Have you been doing this in well? Has there been any other moment in school like that stressed you out or like felt make you feel like this?
No, not necessarily.
Not to this level.
Not to this level.
Okay. So now I'm gonna ask you like a real serious. Thanks to bear with me here. Have you ever thought about like suicide or any in any way like that about just ending it?
I have given some thought about it of like, what would happen, like, or how would it be if it all just vanished and stuff like that. But I personally think that it would probably make my parents really sad, so I would never do that. On top of that, I do have a side issue of having death anxiety, so that's a whole separate topic for another day.
What? To be fair, that
So,
that's pretty good considering because at least you won't go through with it. Like you're.
yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah,
set
yeah.
benefit out of something. But that's good. So are you had no plans of ever doing it though?
No, no.
Okay, that's good. Do you feel safe right now? You don't feel
Yes.
okay. Perfect. I'm glad. I'm glad you shared this with me. So with your spirituality, do you use spiritual anyway?
Yes, I am Christian.
Does what does spirituality play? Like, what type of role does it play in your life? Is it pretty big or is it like kind of minor?
Kind of just there, some minor role.
Okay. Okay. So, would it help you to go and like go into spirituality in order for to help you out with this, or do you think that would probably be like, not really?
I honestly have no idea.
No, if you haven't tried. Okay. See, that's an option. So talk about your goals. Let's shift over to your goals now. What would you like to get out of therapy specifically? What type of things would you want to decrease or feel more of?
Probably decrease the amount of anxiety and worry I feel around it and just like relax myself because I don't think stressing out will help the situation any better. And then obviously in turn that will just allow me to get some better sleep.
Yeah, yeah. So decrease the anxiety and then be able to, in turn, sleep better.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Those are two things you need to, two things everyone wants. So just to summarize right here. Just to summarize, you want to go and get the anxiety that you have due to like school, like your current program that you're in. Your anxiety is getting a little like spiked because like your current grades are a little lower than you want, and they're causing you to freak out, and you're afraid to talk to your parents. You're afraid to talk to your parents and tell them about it. So
Correct.
you're now in this situation where you're like you don't want to disappoint your family, you don't want to disappoint so you're kind of I gotta be good. So how would you like first off thank you for sharing all that. Like it's probably hard. It's probably a hard thing to go and like get this out there. I appreciate you coming to see me to at least try to get it under control.
Mm-hmm.
But also like we could try to figure out a way to manage this anxiety and then like build some coping strategies. So
Right.
uh, you already stated that you like have your martial arts classes that you take.
Right. Right.
Do those like how would that how do you think that helps you calm down? Do you think that like brings you down pretty low, or do you think that's like that's kind of a help, or like just a little bit?
I think it probably works. It's just in a way, and like I just don't think about anything while I'm doing that.
The distraction.
Yeah.
Okay, well distraction. Um, and then you said you've never usually tried faith before in terms of like religion, your religion to try to help you out with this. So maybe we could use those two as ways to cope. How does that sound?
That sounds actually very interesting.
So maybe we can go and first off, how often are your
Oh,
fighting your little days that you do your
at
training?
least 2 times a week.
At least 2 times a week. Okay. And then how often is your class? Like,
It depends. Since I have an adult class, it's kind of like the very end. So sometimes like an hour or two, or even longer if the master stays later.
okay. Then another thing, when is the schedule for your school? So like, when do you usually get these flare ups of anxiety? Is it only once or twice a week, or is it like every day of the week?
Guess it honestly just maybe it's pretty consistently on a almost like a daily basis, but like what causes the flare ups is just at random, I guess you could say.
Okay. So maybe you can go and when you get these flare ups, you could maybe take a little trip to the what am I saying, karate, your martial
Dojo.
arts dojo. Yes, your martial arts dojo. I'm sorry, your martial arts dojo, and you can go and spend some time, decompress, cool off, and then distract yourself so you can come back and be able to relax instead of you being in that high ed state. And then
Sure.
so maybe you can spend an hour or two whenever you start feeling a little. You can just take a trip over there, and then other ways. Do you like music?
I like music, yes.
So
Usually listen to it while I'm practicing.
yeah, see, a little mixing of music, a mix of your fighting, and you can go
Mm-hmm.
and get that calm, and then maybe like this is up to you. Maybe you could go and try prayer, maybe visiting like a church, maybe some a little prayer, maybe might help. Who knows? It can't hurt, but like it's all up to you. Is the
True.
thing. So
True. That's a good one.
otherwise, do you have any other suggestions maybe that might help?
Um. Mm, not at the moment.
Okay, no, that's fine. A little harder to come up with things like when you first start
Yeah.
going. But uh, anyways, I think we might be nearing the end of our time, but we could come back to this and try to find more like coping skills and try to find some more stuff. Like when you come back, see how the prayer, your music listening to, maybe even like you're working out through like your martial arts class, how that's working. Because maybe if you do that a little more often, maybe that might make you feel a little better instead of just 2 days a week.
Right.
But we can come
Good
back
thought
next
process.
session and maybe like if you want to come back next session, if you come back, and then
Mm-hmm.
we could discuss more coping strategies. Does that sound alright?
Yes.
Okay. So I hope you have a nice day. And that's
You as well.
yep. Arrivederci.